him credit because Anzalone wasn't even turned around yet. You know what I'm saying? That was the one throw I documented. I wrote it down. That was the one play that Lamar threw that ball. That was a great throw in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just like you said, Walt, when the game was 21-20, I never felt the Ravens was going to take control of the game, man. And that's all because of the physicality. I'm telling you, man, that game blew me away because I didn't know how good we were. You know what I'm saying? Like last year, we kind of knew. You know what I'm saying? We knew from 2 years ago how what our limitations were. We knew we could play with certain teams, and certain teams was just better than us, man. Period. I had two questions I was going to ask you. Do you think? Let me ask you: do you think the Ravens are? Because I put it out there Saturday. I didn't think that the Ravens were like this great team that everybody was saying they were. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is,
You got the same
how
question I was going to ask you. I guarantee you got the same question I was going to
how
ask you.
how okay, how many credits do you get as when like do you think the Ravens are good? I mean, do you think the Ravens are a Super Bowl team? Do you, or is it just all off cachet, off Lamar, off the organization? You know what I'm saying? John Harbaugh get the respect. Everybody like John Harbaugh. Everybody respects the Ravens organization, you know what I'm saying, for what they stand for. So my question is, are the Ravens like not even a Super Bowl contender? You know what I'm saying? Or you know how in college where we say, was that a good win? You know what I'm saying? Or was that a win? Like let's just say if we beat Ohio State on one of the down years, you know what I'm saying? I'm just using them as an example. Or Michigan State, you're not going to say, well, that was a quality win right there. You beat Michigan State. They play you tough, but they win 5, 6 games a year. Or you beat a USC team that wasn't that great. So did we beat a Ravens team that wasn't, you know what I'm saying? They people was propping them up. And I don't know, not saying the win wasn't dominant because it was. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter who was. I think that Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, Monday night, our history against them, yeah, that gave it a lot of extra juice, man. And I just felt I just felt for the whole days leading up to the game that we was gonna do something special. I really did. I felt that way on Saturday when we did our picks. I think Thursday when I started to turn, like, man, I think the Lions gonna go in here and do something, man. You know what I'm saying? Just because I didn't know how good we were. That's the question. I mean, I think that might be the question of the day for everybody because we kind of didn't know. We didn't know. You know what I'm saying? How good? We knew the offense was good. You know what I'm saying? But I'll let you take it away, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so long winded,
No, you
but
good. You good. I was getting some
it's
stuff
just
together over here too anyway.
defensively. I just say
Yep.
this last thing. Defensively, they gave up 30. I mean, we gave up a garbage touchdown in the
Yeah.
last couple minutes, which I didn't read much. That game wasn't close like 38-30. It wasn't to me. So
No, I mean,
we beat them boys
I kind
down,
of view
man.
it. Yeah, I kind of
We
view it
beat
the same way, man. I think if whether you're a Lions fan, a Ravens fan, or just an NFL fan in general, how do you view this game? Like walking away from this game, does it make you view the Lions any better? Does it make you view the Ravens any less? For me, and I'm not poo-pooing the win at all. We went in there. The Ravens are averaging almost 40 points per game their first two games of the season. They got 30 on us. As you mentioned, they got that touchdown in garbage time. But I don't want to hear none of that because every single publication was picking the Ravens. So I don't want to hear no
everybody.
excuses. I don't want to hear no excuses. We went in there and we dominated. Colin Cowherd said it felt more like 48-14. Like that
Yeah,
was the type of beatdown that they gave the Ravens. And
yeah,
at the end of the day, man, Lamar got his numbers first and foremost. And that's playing the Ravens. You can expect that. That right there is a given. Lamar was
yeah.
21 of 27, completed 77.8% of his passes, 288. averaged 10.7
Yeah.
yards, which is crazy. 3 touchdowns, no picks, had a QBR of 148 and still lost.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, we all saw Derrick Henry did had 12 carries for 50 yards. I also felt like they didn't, not that it would have necessarily made that big of a difference, but I feel
Yeah.
like in Baltimore's defense, they didn't really get Derrick Henry started enough. I felt early. And that kind of played right into our hands because if y'all gonna take Derrick Henry out of the equation for us, I ain't gonna argue with you. Don't give him the football. Now he ultimately had a fumble later on, but you can make the argument if Derrick Henry would have got a usual 23 carries in the first half or something, it could have been
Yeah.
different. But I still don't believe it would have been different because defensively they're bad. Like the Ravens are
Yeah.
bad right now, man. And I haven't seen a Ravens team look this way. And I use the S word, the capital S word, soft, because I've never ever said that about a single Baltimore Ravens team at all. Never when Ozzie Newsome was there. Not even over the past couple years. But it seems like things they've been slowly been like a regular season front running team. And then come playoff time, they flame out consistently. They're
Yeah.
like the Seattle Supersonics of the early 90s, dude. Like
Yeah.
y'all got all these
Yeah.
flashy numbers and these highlights, and y'all beating people by 30 consistently. And then come playoff time, you flame out. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did walk away from saying for me personally, I'm kind of on both sides of the fence with this because I did walk away from that game looking at Baltimore like that team ain't right. I don't know if it's Harbaugh and his voice in the locker room is gone. I don't know if things just gotten stale because we talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and how things have been portrayed as stale over there in Pittsburgh for a long time. They've been habitually a 9-win team. Outside of that, maybe a 10-win team, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens have these Super Bowl expectations every year to have a multi MVP winning quarterback. You can make the argument he probably the biggest playmaker at the quarterback position in the league, and you're not winning with him. Like he's
Yeah.
doing what he's got to do. It would be different if Lamar was playing poorly. Lamar's not, and I understand week 2 they played Cleveland, but at the end of the day, Cleveland's defense is pretty stout. You know,
Yeah.
so for people to say that, okay, well, maybe this guy is hurt for Baltimore, that guy's hurt, or maybe they're just catching the Ravens on the bad year or whatever. That's BS because none of that was going on before the game. None of it
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed. I'm very impressed, man, because and I said before, we talked about the game Saturday morning. I felt that we had a solid chance to go in there and beat them. And I'm with you. I had no idea, no belief that they would manhandle them the way they did. But maybe I should have, it's my fault for not giving my team more credit. Because when I look at it now, when I take a step back, the Ravens up front have been bad against Buffalo and bad against Cleveland. So for a team like Detroit that struggled week 1, you and I both knew that was nowhere near what our team is. They had a bad game against a divisional opponent. It was week 1. It was the home opener for the Packers. They riding the momentum of having the freshly minted Michael Parsons trade. He's there. They
Yeah.
riding off that ammo. I think we just
Yeah.
walked into a buzzsaw week 1 against Green Bay. I expect us to play damn better than that the next time we play them and more than likely beat them. But no, man, listen, we walked in and I'm gonna say this for even the most cynical, pessimistic, ugly ass Lions fan that just doesn't want to believe ever. Even they had to look at last night's game and crack a smile because to me, we talk about the Seattle win, we talk about beating Dallas in Dallas, we talk about all of these other signature wins and winning the division. I think beating a team like the Baltimore Ravens is huge. I think it's
Yeah.
huge, man. Whether they're having a down year or not.
Yeah.
We
Yeah. I'm
tried to
not
talk
going.
about not having token wins, but I think it was another monkey off of our backs, man, because you and I know everybody in this city knows anyone who consistently follows football routinely understands that Detroit Lions are a good team. They're a good team. But there's still a lot of what ifs attached to us nationally. Seeing us biggest stage because we money in prime time. We 12-2. We went
Hmm.
into money time and we beat Kansas City when everybody said we wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
We went into Baltimore now. We beat them and dominated them when everybody said we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I think they're in a position now where no letdowns because your
Yeah.
A game is better than Tampa's A game. Your A game, I think, is better than the Rams' A game. If we compare them to the rest of the NFC, you should be built and ready to head towards Philadelphia. And I'm not trying to completely look ahead, but this is a damn good football team that we've seen for the last 2 years. They went 15-2 last year, and they won 12 games the year before. The year before they won 9. Like this is a damn good football team that
Yeah.
wins a lot of games on the road that people say they're not supposed to win. They wasn't supposed to beat the Chargers on the road a couple years ago. They
Yeah.
own Green Bay and Green Bay up until week 1 this year.
Yeah, and you're right. And like you said, I'm not going to go that route either. Like, and water down the victory. You know what I'm saying? Because you could say, like you said, I've already heard people say, the Raiders, the Ravens aren't, you know, the old Ravens, and you still can't. The just I just like because Dan Campbell just seems like to me, okay, he did it again, man. Because every time I used seem to think, how you get a coach, and he's able to get them there, but not able to really get over the hump. You know what I'm saying? Insert any coach's name. You know what I'm saying? At the time, like let's just say when Tony Dungy and Tampa. Then Gruden comes in and wins, with his players, that type of thing. We've seen it in other sports where you get a good coach that's got a really good record, but can't get them over the hump. You know what I'm saying? And it's sort of like I remember when the Pistons had Rick Carlisle, and it was like everybody would say Carlisle was a good 50-win coach for a couple seasons, and he wasn't good enough. The owner didn't like him, this, that, and other, right? So then he winds up going to another team and finally winning a championship. Well, I think now the Lions have their version of Rick Carlisle. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is they're striking when the iron is hot. You know what I'm saying? Where I think Dan Campbell showed me that he could rise this team up, man. And I know it might sound cheesy or it's him. It's you know what I'm saying. I mean, obviously it's the players. I mean, I'm not discounting that because I got more on the players. I got every guy, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna eat some crow with Graham Glasgow. I was totally telling you to get rid of Graham Glasgow. I told you literally I was gonna drive to Allen Park and snatch the number 60 away from. Like, dude, just don't even play. But no, that I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's like Dan Campbell has his pulse on this team, man. And I don't know. He's way more creditable than I ever would have thought. You know what I'm saying? Just coming into it this far into his tenure to be able to win a game like we've seen other coaches. We've seen how great Steve Mariucci was somewhere else come here
I'm
and it,
glad
and
you
it
was about
just
to you saying that too, because
and it
none of
just
them
didn't
could do it.
materialize. Yeah, Jim Schwartz was, I think, a damn good coach. He actually come in here Sunday, ironically, defensive coordinator,
Yeah.
but he never could win the big game, man. For all the other clowns that they had,
Shout out to Schwartz
Mornywig.
though. I
Yep,
think
yep.
low key
Schwartz.
Schwartz has a lot to do with where we at right now today. Like he came in and like really, even though they didn't win, still didn't win a
Yeah,
playoff game. He changed the culture. They got
yeah,
Stafford here as soon as he got here. He was responsible for getting sued. The defense
yeah,
turned around. We were winning games, and
yeah.
I think like I said, shout out to him because none of this would be where it's at right now. I think if he didn't even come in.
Without the start of it, yeah, and it's like everything, all of the think about it. Think about since Dan Campbell's been here. Just think about this before we get into the players in the game. They hadn't won division in forever, right? They hadn't won it. He's won two straight, right? They have, like you said, until week one, they've owned the Packers, just owned them. You know what I'm saying? And we never ever really able to experience that until now. Till he was here to really go and beat the Packers on a regular basis, beat the Vikings on a regular basis.
Yeah, remember not being
We
able to
had,
win at the Metrodome, not
yeah,
being able to
yep.
win at Minnesota, and yeah,
Yep, Lambeau. I remember just Lambeau was a thing. Remember, we had lost like 17 straight years or something like that in Lambeau. Even though they had did that before Campbell Guy, but what I'm
yeah,
saying is we own them boys, like you said, until now. I just really, really just enjoy just the way he just the way he always just gets this team ready to play, man. What's up, Casey? What's up, everybody, man? Y'all in the chats tonight, man. Bobby Drake, Corey, 313 and Fun, Mark Martin. What up, though, everybody? Yeah, it's fun to do a show, man, after a game like that. It made you proud, man. You know what I'm saying? First of all, it just make you proud because the boys stepped up, man. Uh Taylor Decker, oh man. Kristen Mahogany, uh, Graham Glasgow, Tate Ratledge, Penny Sewell. It's just, man, the boys just deserve to get they fly. I mean, they didn't get a game ball or nothing, man, and they just went out there and they just they dropped the they whooped ass, man. They really did. I really was. Yeah, Bobby, good call. Yep, I was gonna say Caldwell was probably the only guy. I think the media didn't like Jim Caldwell at all because he was real matter of fact just to the media. And that's part
no,
of.
I
I'm
mean,
not saying that he deserved to get fired for that, but what I'm saying is he wasn't
no,
like a crowd favorite. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and I think that kind of spilled over and took the organization to, you know what I'm saying, with Caldwell. But he did win. You're right. He had a winning record when they fired him. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
um,
no, I mean, neither one of them won a playoff game, but
yeah,
I'm just saying that we was 0-16 before Schwartz got there. That was the whole
yeah,
thing. So it ain't no slight to Caldwell, but it's just common sense. Like everything started with Schwartz and his players. Then it went to
yeah,
Caldwell. Neither one of them won a playoff game, but you can't just wipe out
uh-huh,
who started everything in the beginning, who drafted all those players who Caldwell took over with.
yeah,
Ultimately, like I
yeah,
said, neither coach won anything though.
yeah,
But it like I said, it
right,
all
and it was
started with the culture being changed.
yes, and that Campbell is the first one. It's like they going in Kansas City, they winning, man. You know what I'm saying? They go into the Meadowlands and sweep the Giants and the Jets in one season, and you know what I'm saying? It's just things that we have never seen. You know, getting Monday night games on a regular basis. Now we the ticket, man. We the hot ticket. We that game on Monday. Remember Troy Aikman last night even said him and Joe Buck. They highlighted the Tampa Bay Lions game. What is it? Um, October 20th, I think it is. Right in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks away next month. And they, dude, they was like, yeah, we'll be going to Detroit, you know what I'm saying, for that Tampa game. That's gonna be huge, you know what I'm saying? So I think we're we're the treat of the league right now because listen, how can you not like these guys? That's number one. From the celebrations, that's always unless you teams that getting it done, like Minnesota, probably Packers and Chicago fans probably don't like it, but how can you every St. Brown and you got Gibbs and Montgomery and Jared Goff and you get a quiet guy like Sam Laporta, but these guys will quietly assassin and kill you, bro. And I love that about this team, man. I love that about them. I think that's going to carry them guys a long way because you know now teams know when you play the line. I think Ryan Clark said it yesterday. You in for a fight when you play the Lions, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you could play your third string guys or give this guy a night off or you know what I'm saying? We really don't have to take the Lions seriously. Dude, we so far above past them days. It's a new day in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's just say we know it's only week 3. We know, the circumstances, reason why I brought up maybe the Ravens aren't good as they were just 8, 10 years ago, whatever, however you want to say it. I do think it is a long season. You know what I'm saying? And the Lions will probably get into um yeah, what up, E? I love y'all too, man. Yep, you Fidel, my guy, A Dub. What's going on, fellas? It is good, man, just to know that our team ain't fake. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot about other teams that like I'm gonna say this, like the Chargers, right? And I love Jim Harbaugh, and I like Justin Herbert, and I've been to just, but it just seemed like other than their defense, I don't know if they can sustain what they're doing for a long period of time. You know what I'm saying? I think the Lions, what they do, what's the first thing that all them guys said yesterday? Um, my guy, uh, Demarcus Spears. They was all like, yeah, this is who the Lions are. Go for it on fourth down, run the ball down your throat. Dude, we have what 2 90-yard drives in this game. That's unheard of, man. That is like,
Yeah,
and then I
that's
heard somebody try to
LOS
back.
domination.
Yeah,
That's line
I
of
heard
scrimmage.
somebody bagging on 97.1 today. They was just like, well, it took y'all 17, 12, 13 plays to get down the field, and Baltimore did it in 4 plays, basically saying it took us longer to get a touchdown than it did Baltimore, which I think is crazy. Yeah, you mean if you want to say that, of course. I thought, I'm gonna just tell you this. I think our running game was so dominant, and Dan Campbell loves the fact that we run the ball down the team's throat. I felt at any moment that we could have threw the ball to JMO up top, and what his score. I just felt they say, you know what, Jay, you getting the night off. We about to just jam this ball down these boys' throat, and I really felt that way, man. I don't. I think JMO could have beat anybody who was guarding him last night. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think that was on the agenda. I just think that uh, run the ball and let's beat these boys how they play, man. How they want to play. Let's beat them this way. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey,
yeah,
Donkey Kong, man. Let's transition over the way he just said it in his comment. Um, hey, so listen. One thing's for sure, man. Two things for certain. You may not
yeah,
agree with things I say. You may not agree with anything I say. You may agree with a lot of things I say, but I try to be consistent, and I've never wavered on my
yeah,
opinions of Terry Arnold. And like this is going back to before the draft. I had him at, I believe he was my fifth rated corner. I had Cooper DeJean ahead of him. I had Quinyon Mitchell. I had Nate Wiggins. I had Kamari Lassiter. Um, no, he was my sixth, matter of fact, because I had Kool-Aid
yeah.
McKinstry ahead of him. And McKinstry's playing better football than him right now. But McKinstry's also bigger and has more physical tools. But
Mhm.
the issues that I see with him are the same things that are going on in college. And
Yeah,
historically, if you look at like the best corners in the league, they all were first round picks for the most part. Every now and then you'll get a third or fourth, one of those guys that slipped through the cracks due to character issues or just went to a smaller school or whatever. A guy like Dominic Rogers Cromartie, in fact,
hmm,
from back in the day. But for the most part, man, they all first round picks, all 6 foot plus. And if he's under 6 foot, he's a mondo athlete. Um, and then you look at the talent. Braylon Edwards brought this up on Woodward Sports the other day where they were discussing Terry Arnold. He brought up the same thing I've been bringing up about him since Georgia, I mean, since Alabama. What are you going to do when you get to the NFL and week after week you got to deal with these freaks? You get Jamar Chase. Actually, you got Jerry Judy, a route god this week coming up. The next week, you got Jamar Chase and you got Higgins.
yeah.
Now you get a little break against Tampa because Tampa ain't got nobody. I mean, not Tampa, but Kansas City ain't got nobody.
Cleveland. Yeah,
Yeah, but is you need to be an athlete. I feel to really be a boundary corner in this day and age. We can go down the line of all the top corners. The top corners in history. They may have
yeah,
not all of them been high super level athletes, but even Darrell Reeves was a better than adequate athlete. He
yeah,
was also a technician at his position. He was strong as hell. And he was in a position back then where they could utilize their hands a lot more in coverage than they're allowed to now. So it is difficult for corners to play man coverage consistently. But I just see that, man, is I just go back to the day after the draft when this man told us he was the best corner in the draft. And
I
Rakestraw was
remember,
and Rakestraw was the second best corner in the draft. Like, you got in front of the camera and you told us this.
yeah, I remember you didn't like the pick. I remember vividly. I liked the pick at the time. You know, you and Ralph, y'all been killing me for it ever since then. But I mean, my patience running thin, man. You know what I'm saying? I just, and it was he was he was just been in the wrong spot, man. The times I think he's been exposed, I just feel like he's just been in no man. He just seems like he's in no man's land, man. I hate that. It just seems
Dude,
like,
go back to the Commanders
but
game. The fourth
but
and
listen
inches
to this
play.
though. Right, listen to this though. But what I can say is this now. I see Lamar Jackson running for his life in the second half, basically. And I do think a little bit of that is the coverage, though. You know what I'm saying? I think that what I'm saying is I think Terran Arnold did do some things to where he didn't was able. How many catches did Zay Flowers have? I mean, I think two. I think maybe Zay Flowers caught two passes. Now you could say maybe
Uh,
the pass rush was,
right here.
a lot of it.
Andrew's the only
What
one that
was
kind of killed. He had 6 for 91 and 2 touchdowns, but Zay Flowers had
yeah.
catches for 13 yards.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to count for something. But I mean, that pass interference was bad, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just at the opportune time. It just seems like when we need him to make a play, he either getting a PA, a PI, or he giving up a touchdown, man, or a big third down play. Now I can't say this again. I, Corner is the hardest position. Okay, corner is the hardest
I
position to
don't want to
play.
hear
You
it,
know what I'm saying?
dog.
Other than quarterback,
I don't want to
but
hear it.
but I don't. I think that he could. You could get by with him playing away. Who else you gonna get? First of all, remember Rakestraw hurt. He was the other guy that was supposed to be. He hurt. So
I know.
that's all you. I'm just telling you why. I mean, I don't know. I don't have nothing for you on that. I mean, we got to roll with it, man. We got nothing for you, and God forbid if he gets hurt, and then you.
I
I
just
mean,
think he's in a
obviously, you know,
I just
I
think
don't
he's in
know,
a
man.
bad position too. I said it
Yeah,
before when we got him. I think that he would be a perfect slot. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with being a nickel. In this day and age in the NFL, as a nickel, you on the field for probably 80% of the plays now, 85% of the packages. There's nothing wrong with that. But people
yeah,
don't want to get away from this mind grasp of boundary corner, lockdown, Deion Sanders, and all this other crazy stuff people were saying when we drafted him. The
yeah,
Sub-Zero nickname and all this other stuff, all the Instagrams, the TikToks, and like all of this goofy stuff, which nobody would care about if you was playing better. And like I told you earlier, I told Ralph in the comment section earlier. Um,
yeah.
for
Santi
me,
Samuel.
yeah, for me, it's like it's not the catches he gives up because he don't just give up a ton of catches. It's not the PI, honestly, because he don't give up a bunch of those, not consistently every game. It's the fact that you don't make up for shit. Like, remember
I
last
know.
year, people around here killed Carlton Davis for giving up catches. Every time Carlton gave up a catch, people was tweeting about it. But Carlton would make up for it later on in the game. It'd be whether it be a punch out, it'd be an interception. You go back to the Houston game, he had the 2 picks in the second half that really helped turn that game around. Carlton made a difference. You can't be out there not as a boundary corner, not as
Yeah,
a slot, sure. We can have coverage of shade and help you out consistently all day. But when you a boundary corner, you can't be out there giving up PI, giving up catches consistently. Then on top of that, you not making up for it. You not making no plays. We talking about 18 career games, 0 picks, 0 forced fumbles, 0 QB hits, 0 sacks. You out there making
yeah,
0 plays at all, and you getting us cooked.
yeah,
Now you right. We don't have no other option at
yeah,
all. At all, we have no other option. But people didn't want to bring Carlton back. Not saying that Carlton's setting the world on fire over there in New England, but it just
yeah. I get
it
what you're
bothers
saying.
me, man, because it always go back to we got to look at dude. They brought we talked about with Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell's over there in Philadelphia. traveling, following the number one corner. I mean, the number one wide
Yeah.
receiver. Low, and the
Yeah.
fact is, should he have been a first round pick? I don't think so. I said before the draft he was like a second round pick, early second. Once you start talking about like that second crop of corners, he wasn't the elite guy. He wasn't the blue chip guy at all, man. And it's bad for him because he's in the situation, he's in the defense where they play so much damn man that
Yeah.
he's bound to get exposed. You can't hide him out there in our defense. So it's like now we're in a
Yeah.
situation where you got to make
Yeah.
up for it.
Yeah.
You gonna trade for
And I think,
somebody?
yeah, and then just what Buddy just said, yeah, appreciate your comment. Yeah, our need to work with football. And I was thinking the same thing yesterday because Terrion just seems like he's not turned around. I don't know. Maybe is that, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that like cornerback room 101? I mean, it just seems like he doesn't know how to like do two things at once. You know what I'm saying? It's like he can't multitask. Like if you on your man, your football instinct should kick in. Like, okay, I got 2 seconds roughly for this ball coming out. That clock should be on your head. I don't understand that part. It just seems like
He's not
he's not.
elite at nothing, bro.
Yeah,
And I
it's just
think
like
that's the
how can you
problem.
not have that clock in your head? Like this ball, I know this ball is coming. Just you know what I'm saying. I'm going I'm gonna contain, and then I'm gonna turn around when I anticipate. And then too, I always heard this from a guy used to know play football. Just you got to watch the eyes of the receiver too. You see when his eyes getting big when that ball's coming up when he think it's coming his way. So
That's a lot of nuance. And I think he lacks
yeah,
the nuance too. Like
yeah,
that was my
and I
main issue
mean,
with him.
and I think that him being out there is, uh, you know, when you got a pass rush like last night, I think you can get away with having him out there. You know what I'm saying? I think you can, but like you said, that's a lot to ask to get 7 sacks every game. You know what I mean? So I just think it's going to come a time where, I mean, he's getting cooked now. I mean, it's not like he's not getting cooked; he's getting cooked. But it's like,
He's
damn,
gonna be
it can,
evaluated at the end of this season.
yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like we got to go with. I mean, even if we get to where we want to go this year, Terrion gonna be the starting cornerback. I mean, he ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't see a scenario where you bench him or anything because who you got, man? I mean, you're not gonna. I think the cornerback room, which me and you've been saying for the last 3 drafts, you know what I mean? Like they really need to get an elite corner. You know, period. You know what I'm saying? Not a guy like you said, a second or third. You got to get the best of the best. You know, you got to get the Devin Witherspoon type. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So, not that this is ready to be a Terry on Honor show. I mean, tonight. I mean, it's just we just pointed out. You know what I mean? Like I said, did he do some good things? I did. I think on some of those scrambles, Terrion was out there doing his job. I really do. I believe
Oh
that. You
no,
know what I'm
yeah, he
saying?
he does.
But when he found an open man, I mean, we've seen it where Terrion is catching up. He can't run. Bro, you text me, he was like, but you've been saying he can't run when we drafted him. I remember you said he can't run. I remember that vividly. You was right.
Man, listen,
But
how often do you see cornerbacks, fast cornerbacks, elite cornerbacks at the combine run a 4.55 and not follow it up with like a 4.47 or something like that? He ran a four
yeah,
four, I mean a 4.55. Then his second time was damn near a 4.6. He ran like a 4.59. I'm gonna bring
yeah,
that up too when you're talking about it. But it was to me it was common sense stuff in regards to the cornerback position that
yeah,
you just don't draft in the first round. I think guys who don't travel, guys who don't play man. He wasn't a man corner in Alabama either, which I thought that was a red flag because when Surtain was there, when all the other big time corners from Alabama had that were there, even if they
yeah,
didn't become great in the NFL, Saban loves to play man coverage.
yeah,
He loves to
yeah.
play man on the outside and then run his different exotic coverages behind it. When he was there, they played a
Oh
whole
yeah,
lot more zone.
yeah. You know who I do want to shout out? I mean, not that we can talk about Terrion no more, man. I like we talked about the offensive line. Give me some Jack Campbell, man. Give me some
Oh
Jack
yeah,
Campbell. Jack was out there balling, dude. God. Jack Campbell did his thing
RoboCop.
last night. Oh man,
That's what I
dude.
call him. You RoboCop out there, man.
Yeah, man. Jack
I'm just here to
Campbell.
play
Oh,
football, man.
he hit Lamar. He hit Lamar so hard last night on one play, man, and Lamar just went down like to his knees, bro. It was just like I love it, man. I love it.
Jack
Love his
all business,
development.
man.
Yep, he not flashy. Jack gonna get in there and make the tackle. You know what I'm saying? Derek Barr, the whole linebacker core played great. You know, obviously El Qadim Muhammad, you know what I'm saying, was a guy that's been traveled around the league, man, and to have him come out and just, you know, just when we need it, how many times have we needed a performance like that? You know what I'm saying? If we get one guy to make a play against the Commanders last year in the playoffs, we win that game. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this is exactly what we need. What Kadeem El Kadeem provided, what Jack Campbell provided, what Derek. How good did Derek Barnes look last night? It's just when these guys are in their element, man. I think that right now, like I told you, remember what we both said this Saturday when we lost that game 2 years ago to the Ravens. Jack Campbell, Gibbs, all these guys was on that team. You know what I'm
It
saying?
was
Now I
puppies.
think we're far better a team than we were 2 years. That
Those
tells you
guys are
right there.
veterans now.
Yeah, right. It shows you our growth. It shows you where we're going, man. And yeah, yo, Jack, yeah, right. Corey, exactly right, man. Put on his flannel, Wrangler jean, and just not flashy, just do his thing, man. You know what I'm
Still
saying?
driving the
So
same pickup truck he inherited from his
yeah.
grandfather in high school and stuff.
Oh man, he gave me goosebumps, man. He's balling out there.
He the Kawhi
And
Leonard of football
yeah,
without all the extra stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Jack don't
So
smile. Jack
and you
just
know who
all
else
football.
mixed it up? DJ Reader got a good push last night.
Yeah,
Talik Williams, man. I mean, that Talik Williams
yeah.
is getting so much experience. I think what's gonna help that kid, especially Lee McNeil, who's on a fast track of coming back. It sounds like I'm gonna say this. I see it coming right now. I mean, the Lions did it right by starting Talik Williams and not letting him play, being a rotational guy. They did it right, man, and they started that kid from the start. I think big things from Talik Williams by the end of this
You see
season,
who
man.
getting
I,
all the
I really
snaps.
do.
He
Yeah,
getting all the snaps. Yeah, he's I want to
yeah,
transition to a question I had for you earlier too. Like
yeah,
if you look at we've been ranting and raving about an edge rusher for the past 3 years outside of
yeah,
Aiton. We need help for Aiton, need help for Aiton.
yep.
I'm kind of contrary to it now because we've been talking about cornerback. You and I both agree that we think heading to 2026, cornerback might be a bigger position to need than edge rusher. Because if you look at
Hmm.
the defensive line, okay, we may not have another big time household name opposite Aiden at right end because Davenport's gone. I think there's no way you can bring Davenport back. As much as I love
Hmm.
the impact he has on the field, when he's on the field, you can't bring him back anymore. You have to upgrade. It's obvious that you have to upgrade now. But
Yeah,
you can make the argument that a defensive tackle rotation of DJ Reader, Tyleek Williams, Aleem McNeil when he comes back, and then Makai Wingo, or
hmm,
whoever insert name number 4, paired with
yeah.
an all-pro caliber edge rusher, Aiden Hutchinson, that's good enough to get away with Al
Yeah.
Qadim Muhammad
Oh yeah.
on the other side because you have backer play as well. I think the cornerback position, man, is something that, and I think DJ Reed been playing decent this season. I think he's been playing decent. But cornerback, yeah, I think cornerback right now, if you put a stud number one corner in that defense with those two, it's only gonna help out Branch also. Branch at being asked to do way too damn much right now, man. And he having brain farts now because they putting too much on his plate. He can't be Brian Dawkins unless he has Al Harris and Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent out there. We don't have those corners out there. He can't be a better free safety until they get better cornerback play, man, because the responsibility on him is too heavy right now. If we had a number one corner that could shut down half the field or travel with a number one guy like Chase or a Higgins for that matter, man, it would make him so much better. So I think that, in my estimation, I think cornerback may be number one right along with maybe left tackle. You could throw another position, the edge rusher for that matter as well. But what do you think?
Yeah, yeah. I had you on mute, man. Sorry. I had myself on mute. Sorry, I was listening to what you were saying. But yeah, I agree totally what you're saying. And I never thought about it. That point about having a shot down corner to make Brian Branch game, man. I never thought of looked at it like that. To enhance his game, and I think you're right, man. I think that like you said, next season, obviously we can't address anything like that until the season. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Until the season's over, to the draft. But I agree. I think it is a need, man. You know what I mean? I do think just moving forward, we ain't even gonna go that far into it like draft wise. But yeah, that's definitely. We texted today, and I told you that's on the number one priority list, man. You gotta get for this defense to function. And then two, let me ask you this, and then everybody in the comments section, everybody's listening, watching, whatever. Um, Kelvin Shepard. I mean, do you think? I think that he brought the heat, man. I really do. I think that Kelvin brought the heat, bro. You know what I'm saying? And Lions usually don't play defense like that. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
shed 10 yards away from the guy, give up an easy play. It's just like we play a lot prevent, just not everything's safe in front of you. You know what I'm saying? You got to take chances. And like you said, when you get a guy like Brian Branch, he's a guy worth taking chances for. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy that you want to be out there just doing what he does best. You know what I mean? Instead of, like you said, trying to survey one side of the field because he knows that cornerbacks aren't the greatest. You know what I mean? So yeah, as far as like where we going draft wise, I think our draft board may be changing week to week. You know what I'm saying? But I think corner won't change, and I think edge rusher won't change. I did hear that Josh Pascal, could be coming back too. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? We don't know like extent of it. And then I heard Marcus Davenport's technically not out for the season. I can't believe I'm saying this. He's not out for the season, but maybe he might miss 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe you get him back. Can we just save him for like if we make it to the NFC Championship? Because he's good for 2 games. So maybe if we get to the championship and play in the SB, then maybe those would be 2 games we can get out of Davenport. You know what I'm saying? When he comes back. Like just don't I would tell him like you coming back is November 1st. Don't even suit up. Just we'll wait until we make it playoffs. Let us clinch. Come to the championship game in Philly. We'll see you in Philly. Just bring your uniform, bring your helmet, and then we're gonna put you out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, still on the team.
Yeah, he
You
is.
you
Yeah.
you can't travel with us. You can't because
Told
he'll
this
get
man
hurt
don't
on.
travel.
Yeah, you can't he get hurt on the sideline or something. No, you can't travel. You keep your jersey, keep your helmet, keep everything. We'll see you in Philly in January. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to tell Marcus Davenport at this point. But yeah, I'm just trying to shed light on it. But let me ask you a question about the offense, man. Real quick. That was the one constant I knew coming into this game. I knew the offense would be good. You know what I'm saying? I just think that we good on the offense part. You know what I'm saying? In that department, and Tesla has barely even played. I mean, we haven't even been running no plays for him yet. JMO hasn't bust loose
He
yet.
red shirting.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed
Go
like
out there and get a catch.
we got so much
Yeah.
more to unlock with the offense, I think, Walt. I think we could, like Colin Cowherd, like you said, we could have hung 50 on that team, man. If we would have just executed, I think we just didn't throw the ball enough. I think if we threw the ball more, I definitely think we could have beat them corners, man, and beat the way how close they was worried about the run. I was thinking to myself like, this a play action
Yeah.
fake all the way. Give it to JMO up
Yeah.
top. It's a touchdown. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think I
So
think Dan I think Dan and Shep both recognized how soft it was up the middle. I think that's really what it was because they were
that
down
was
to Travis
amazing.
Jones. They were down to
Yeah,
like their third and fourth defensive tackles too. So they had
yeah.
some guys that were out and they were a little bit undersized. But like I said, they were missing Michael Pierce tremendously.
Yeah.
Michael Pierce, the nose tackle, been there for the last few years. He was there when Mike McDonald was there as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any coincidence that the defense has been bad since Mike McDonald left and took the head coaching job in Seattle. And Pierce retired over the offseason, and that just made things even worse. I think they realized, okay, you know what? Baltimore, defensively, Baltimore's best players are in the secondary. Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Malachi Starks, what's the name? The other safety, what's his name?
Kyle
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Kyle
Yeah.
Hamilton. Right now,
Yeah.
their best players are all in the secondary. Their worst players are in the front seven. Even though Roquan Smith is a damn good linebacker, but right now they're struggling. I would have destroyed them up the middle too. Now, are you surprised that it could just be the run designs? I think that Dave Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs, they both see the holes completely differently, and they're
Yeah.
both built for like different so of run fit
Yeah.
have specific to them because your boy Dave Montgomery, he be bobbing around there slow, and then little legs get to moving and everything. Dude had over 100 yards on 12 carries, right? And if we
Yeah.
go back and
50, 151 yards. Yeah.
yep, Montgomery had 12 for 151, average 12.66. Of course, he had a 72-yard run, but even outside of the 72-yard run, he was still gashing them. Gibbs had 67 yards on 22 carries, but had 2 touchdowns. Like, I noticed something with this team offensively as well. And not just with us, I think it's with most offenses in general. When you can run the
Yeah.
ball at will, it opens up so much more fun. And we started seeing more, not even necessarily trick plays, but like the toss to St. Brown, and then he lateral it
To the
to Gibbs
Gibbs.
for the touchdown. Like then you started seeing more things to open up. Numbers wasn't the most flashy. It
Yeah.
was drop 38 on him. Like it was very, very like I said, I had no idea they would beat them the way they did. But man, it felt good to go in there and push them around because especially when you look at all these different publications and everybody's picking these games all across the screen, purple. Then they all get humbled. So like I said,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. We got some technical difficulties. Well, on your end, I can see you now. Yeah, I got what you were saying though. You know what I'm saying? When it gets down, when it comes down to it, I think the offense gonna be good, man. I think that's what is gonna carry us through some games. I felt that way when the defense is struggling, like next week. I think our defense. I mean, I'm sorry. I think our offense will carry us. I mean, not to even say that we're leaps and bounds better than Cleveland because we know Cleveland's defense is pretty good, man. Their front seven is good. Um, Secondary is decent, but I think in games where our defense doesn't show up, I mean, we had it both best of both worlds yesterday, and it was just like I never felt that the Ravens could stop us. I felt that just that way going into the game. You know what I mean? Just because, I mean, man, and then the way St. Brown just gets like no love at being like one of the top guys in the league. I think that it's crazy to me because he's not 6'5" RoboCop like AJ Brown. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
He
they
don't make the
feel like
splash
he's
plays.
yeah, but
Yeah.
he makes just all the play when we absolutely need it. St. Brown gonna make it happen, man. He's sure handed. He definitely gonna come away with the football. You know what I'm saying? I think that accounts for something. Obviously, the physicality is what people look. He's not a DK Metcalf or, like I said, a AJ Brown or anything like that. But man, he is one of the top receivers in the league. Man, it was when you know it's coming and you still can't stop it. That shows you how good he is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And like you said, the Montgomery and Gibbs dynamic, I like the change of path. I like the way I was wondering how Johnny Morton was gonna incorporate the two. And last night it was like more of what we've seen the last 2 years with Gibbs and Montgomery. But he wants to use Gibb as a primary receiver sometimes, and they have them both in there at the same time. But I think sometimes it works when you put them in there and let them switch up sometimes, because I think it's a good change of pace, for the opponent. They don't know where it's coming. You know what I mean? You get pounded by Montgomery and get slowed down and start to feel the aches and pains of getting brute beat on, and then you get Gibbs to take it home. You know what I'm saying? I think on that run, what was 72-yard run, we know Gibbs would have been out of there. You know what I mean? He would have been totally been out of there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So yeah,
that,
Trey.
that's a
I mean,
spicy quote right That's a spicy
well,
quote right
I'm
there,
just
man.
gonna
I
say
mean,
this though,
one guy
Trey.
don't get
I'm
the
with him.
football though. But
Yeah,
you saw what happened when so they finally started. They fell behind. And they started throwing on the football. Now that boy out there, AJ, like baby To out there. Now he ain't as
yeah,
fast as To, but he's still fast. Like AJ is a beast. He just don't never get the football.
yeah. But you know what, Trey? I'm let me. I'd love to see. Yeah, Jo, what's up? And I agree. St. Brown is right there, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and slight him and say.
Yeah, I ain't
I'm
gonna
just
say
telling
yeah.
you. I think that AJ Brown is just a physicality. It's just like he not built like that. You know what I'm saying? Like 6'6", or just a real imposing physical. And I think that's why St. Brown is not like this guy's number one in the league, that type of thing, because he's got all the route running, that just sure handed. He does it, he's the perfect teammate, that type of thing. He doesn't, you know, flat like it's me, me, me. You know how a receiver got that mentality, you know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute now.
Like Malik,
Last night though he
like
did
Malik
say
Neighbors, like Malik Neighbors probably went to Brian Dayball office and say, if y'all don't get Russell Wilson off my team, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we know Malik Neighbors is that guy. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be able to get them guys the ball, man. And then I'm gonna just say this about Goff. Jared Goff, I think he's turned the corner, man. I'm gonna say this. Okay, he doesn't. Not one game. I'm not gonna say one game has changed my opinion, because it's still the same with Jared Goff. It is. He's limited. We know he's limited, but a game like last night was the perfect time for him to throw an interception and turn the game and to give it back to the Ravens, right? And he didn't. You know what I mean? When he plays smart, and he's playing within things that I think the worst thing he did all night was, like, remember, he could have got the first down, and he tried to throw that sidearm pass to, well, I don't know, I can't remember if it was Khalif Raymond or Laporte, one of them guys standing there. And that was like the worst thing he did all night. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, everything was in rhythm. Everything was like what he wanted to do. Obviously we know. I think when his first read is there, when he wants to get rid of football, he'll deliver it. I think, you know what I mean, to the point to where he's right there. You know what I mean, and he'll on the dime like that. Remember that fourth down play to St. Brown, on the money, man. That ball was on the money. I give him credit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm just saying, sometimes he takes a beating when he doesn't play well. Okay. And I think a game last night, we got to kind of show him some love a little bit, man, because I don't think an inexperienced quarterback don't hold his composure like that. Like, you know what I'm saying, in that game, even though we ran the
no, it,
ball a
it, it
lot.
was still a good game. It just wasn't a 340-yard passing game for four
Yeah.
touchdowns and this that. It was a workmanlike performance by him. It was nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? The number one thing. Yeah, and I agree. St. Brown is more than just. I think he's the heart and soul of this team, man. I really do offensively. Dan Campbell speaks on it all the time. I think Jared Goff has even said that St. Brown is like the best receiver he's ever thrown to. You know what I mean? In his career. And so it speaks. I think the work ethic speaks volumes. They know he works hard. They know he is a leader. He wears that C on his jersey for a reason. You know what I mean? So, I mean, for me, the number one thing, if Jared Goff can just not screw it up, you know what I'm saying, and just he'll be fine, man. I mean, I think because reason why I'm bringing it up now because I said that I was asking myself after the Washington game last year, like, can we really legit win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff at quarterback? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm thinking about it to myself, like, can we really actually win? And then the question is, yeah. The question is, yeah. I think that he is the same guy. I know, Bobby, and I don't want it to sound like because we won
I
the
don't want to go
game, like
overboard with a win, like because we
yeah,
went
that's
forward
what I'm
after
saying.
week one, and then it's like I don't. Even though they are the Ravens, theoretically figurehead wise, they're the Baltimore Ravens. I still don't
Yeah.
think this is a good Baltimore Raven team this year, though. So it could
Well,
be
yeah.
proven over the long run. We might look back at this win at the end of the season and say, "Damn, the Ravens only won 4 games this year, or 5 games, something like that. Damn, that Raven win don't look so good now." Not to take anything away from them, but I just think that that was a bad defense. That's the whole thing. It may sound crazy, but we may get a better test, a bigger test, at least defensively from Cleveland.
Next
Now,
week.
Cleveland just
Next
can't
week.
score worth a damn. But
Yeah.
Cleveland's defense is way better than Baltimore's defense, especially
Yeah.
that
Oh
front
yeah.
seven.
Oh yeah.
So
And
it
if
may. Yep.
I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off.
No, you
Uh,
good.
no, if this is a game coming up where you could see golf, getting flustered, throwing some interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, the pressure is going to be coming, man. It's going to be different. So for me, I mean, I just don't want to always bag on him. I want to just point out when he did play smart, when he did
Yeah.
play winning football. Because I remember that Commanders game wasn't good ending to the season, man. You know what I'm saying? That Packers game week one wasn't a good look, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though people want to say it was the first game of the season, Goff made a couple bad throws in that game. You know what I'm saying? But through the interception when we were in the red zone, when we were trying to score and get back in the game. So, man, I I really do just believe that this team is just not because we won yesterday. I think it's because we won the way we won. I'm gonna say that we could really we can get back on the like we expect to do special things this year. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I told you this game was it for me. I mean, for me, if we would have lost, 30, sort of like we did 2 years ago, or get beat, I didn't want to hear nothing else about the Lions' chances this year of winning the Super Bowl, anything like that, because that's far fetched right now. But I think you could still think the Lions are one of the top teams in the league. You know what I mean? Right now, by saying even though the Ravens
Yeah.
aren't all that, but I just think the magnitude of the game to me and what was on the line as far as reputation. And remember, Dan Campbell even said it like at inside of the locker room. He said, "This is the temperature of the AFC." You know what I'm saying? Which I think the AFC is. I mean, I'm not gonna say they
It might
they
have a
better
down
because
year. I think
yeah,
they're having a
because
down
right.
year, honestly.
I think because the NFC got better teams. I agree with you because I like the Bucks, the Eagles. You know what I mean? Us, the
Yeah.
Packers.
I think if you compare just the South alone, the number one team in the AFC South is the Colts, right? And the
Yeah,
number one team in the NFC South is the Bucks. I think the Bucks are
yeah,
better than the Colts.
yeah. Hell yeah, they smashed them. They would smash that team. Yep, I agree. Totally agree. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, before we get out of here, I mean, let's just say, what stood out? Like, were you was the defensive line like? Did it stand out to you? Like, did they do anything? They're like, man, maybe we might have. Do you think we might have unlocked something? You know what I'm saying? Is the Al Qadim Muhammad is that real? Was it just because the Ravens aren't that good, or can Kadeem Muhammad turn into a guy that we can count on, man? You know what I'm saying? Throughout this season now, you know.
I think it's a little bit of both, but you got to take it when you can get it, man. I think in NFL on a week to week basis, it's so hard to win a damn game. That's why we all overreact every Sunday night and Monday morning
Yeah,
because like we spend Monday to Saturday talking
yeah,
about these games at work, talking about these games, texting our buddies, talking about these games on the phone, talking about these games on podcasts, watching podcasts, listening to podcasts, talk about these games. So by the time Sunday gets here, we all juiced up for it. So we overreact for everything. But I think that the Lions team that we saw now, Joseph brought up the fact that this are the real Lions. We can't expect them to do everybody like that. As long as they win games, I think they're capable of beating every other team on their schedule. That's no guarantee
uh-huh.
they're going to do it. But I do think that when we come to play our A game against teams that are inferior overall, and we talked about this 2 years ago when they won 12 games, ain't no half-ass team about to beat this Lions team. If you
Uh-huh.
strictly a defensive team with no offense like Cleveland, it's gonna be damn tough for you to beat us. If you're an offensive team like Baltimore that can put up a bunch of points and get gas big time money plays and this and that, but no defense, you're not gonna beat us. We talked about the same thing with the Charger win a couple years ago. The Chargers had zero defense. Herbert had his numbers, he had his touchdowns, they scored, but we dominated.
Yeah,
It's gonna take a team that's gonna be solid on both sides of the football, man, to really beat us.
yeah, yep. And the Browns, you got the Bengals, you got the Chiefs on Sunday night football, and then Monday night against Tampa at home before the bye week. So, dude, we got four winnable games, man, coming up. I mean, I'm not this year. I don't want to get too ahead of myself this year. I said to myself, I'm not going to play the schedule game. We're gonna go. The next game is Cleveland. You know what I mean? That you take care of business against Cleveland. You're a better team. You should beat the Browns. You know what I mean? So for me, winning this game just solidified me. I'll say this, before we get out of here, Walt. I think that I'm back on the train. Like we could do something. You know what I mean? Because after that Green Bay lie, I overreacted. You know what I'm saying? Like a half people probably ain't gonna admit that they were, you know what I'm saying? But I overreact. I'm like, man, we ain't nowhere near the team we were. You know what I mean? Just because of what we lost. You know what I mean? That's why I would say that. Not that I didn't have any faith in the guys that we got, but it was just like, we have lost a lot. We played a bunch of high impact games. And maybe, we do need to reload. You know what I'm saying? And kind of, which, year to year is different. But I do think we back in the conversation now. That Thanksgiving against the Packers is really gonna mean something, man. That game, if it's we could both of those teams could have one loss when we play each other. You know what I'm saying? Just like sort of like that Minnesota game. What if both teams got one loss going into Thanksgiving? I mean, that would be
It's possible.
special. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I mean, I'm just excited for the rest of the season to see how this thing gonna turn out. I think that Cleveland's gonna pose a different kind of issue, man, and I think that we can't get overconfident now. This is one thing I don't, I can't stand sometimes. With now we beat somebody, now we gonna kill everybody now. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, we still may lose a game or two coming up here. You know what I'm saying? But it should be Sunday. You know what I mean? We shouldn't go out and lose to the Browns. So yeah, I liked it too, man. Yep, just what Multi Art Travel said that yeah, and I like that. And I seen that Kelvin Shepard did something that Aaron Glenn used to. He was moving Aiden Hutchinson up and down the line. I like that part of him. If Aiden Hutchinson not getting there with his hand in the dirt on the left side or the right side, move him up and down the line. Remember him and Charles Harris used to do that all the time when Charles Harris was here during Aiden Hutchinson rookie
Yeah.
season. So it
Yeah.
did some good things, man. Kevin Shepard did some good things. He was the guy I was really kind of like he an unknown. I mean, unknown to me. I mean, that he's known within the organization, but You know,
Yeah, I mean
it's
he's
just
doing
like,
his job. I don't think we have the
yeah,
same complaints about him that we had with AG, at least not early. I mean, you look at it for what it is. People rag on the defense against Green Bay. That defense kept you in the game through the third quarter. It was still a
yeah,
17-6 game midway through the third quarter. So it was bend but don't break. They wasn't giving up the points. They gave up some big plays in the passing game, of course, to Jordan Love. But at the end of the day, man, the defense played good enough to win against Green Bay. And of course, we all know they smashed Chicago a week ago, and then they pushed around Minnesota, not Minnesota, but they pushed around Baltimore. So man, it's
yeah,
I think we're closer to the team that we're somewhere in the middle of what we saw against Chicago and Baltimore. I don't think we going out there just dropping 50 on everybody. You know, there's
mhm,
gonna be some tough games out there, some tougher matchups up front, but in general, man, I think this is a damn good football team. Are they gonna have their duds? Are they gonna have their games where a team gets up for them a little bit earlier than they get up for them, and maybe they can't catch up? Maybe somebody does beat us bad. It happens in the NFL. The Eagles gonna have their days as well. But
yeah,
yep, I just think I want to thank everybody, of course, for joining us tonight. Want to go over this game. It is Victory Tuesday. Lions 38, Ravens 30. Victory Tuesdays over now. On to Cleveland. Till next time, we'll be back later on in the week to break down the Cleveland Browns defensively, offensively, that quarterback situation, who could be attacking Terry Arnold. Because somebody mentioned that in the comment section earlier that Flacco was going to attack Terry Arnold. If Flacco can't do nothing else, he can push the ball downfield. So
yeah,
I don't want to see
yeah.
that. Like, I don't want to see my
What they
boy
got?
out there.
They got Isaiah Bond and
Oh yeah,
Xavier
that's 4
Tillman.
2 speed. That's 4 2 speed out there, boy. And
Yeah,
Jerry
yeah.
Judy, you
Bond
know
is.
how Jerry Judy got them route running feet, and they both
Mhm,
Alabama boys, so you know they're gonna try to go up against each other, and Judy gonna want to show them up. So, but
mhm,
yeah, so like I said, we'll be back later on in the week to break down the Cleveland Browns. But until then, man, enjoy this game. I think this was a win that this fan base needed. Me and you brought it up early on in the week as far as the revenge tour. Even though the Baltimore Ravens play in the AFC, we still owed them one. Nah, screw that. We owe them 5 or 6 more too over the next the next 10 years, man, because the Ravens been kicking us around for a while, man. But we still out there
mhm,
exercising some demons, man. Like I said, we got the Browns coming up, then we got KC, we got Tampa. So even Kansas City for that matter. And that's just look at the head. Kansas City doesn't look like world beaters at all.
mhm.
You know, they looking
No.
very beatable as well. And they lost, granted, they lost across the water, but that's for another show in another couple weeks, man. Like I said, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight and enjoy the rest of your night. Lions Pride.